Hello, this is the fourth podcast in the series on New Light for Rosh Hashanah, and this is the third day of Elul. We are discussing the first section of morning prayer. In traditional prayer books, this section includes many prayers and recitations that have been popular in various communities. But the core, the heart of the section that I'll talk about here, is a specific list of short blessings. Morning blessings are mentioned in the Talmud with the advice that a person say them on rising as he is going about getting dressed and preparing for the day. So this wasn't originally a synagogue ritual, but a private one. In fact, many people still say the blessings at home early in the morning. In a traditional synagogue, they're said very quickly at the beginning, so those who forgot or didn't have time to say them at home can listen and say Amen. In a liberal synagogue, you will probably hear them said together more slowly, if you get there at the very beginning. I like to do these as a personal prayer at home, just in case I'm late, right? Different prayer books don't always have the same order for these blessings, but you should be able to find them all among the first several pages of your Siddur. I think of them as in three groups. There's a set of general blessings for the body, the soul, and the gift of Torah, which is for the mind. Then there's a list of 13 blessings for the primary functions we use to act in the world. And then there's a set of 3 blessings on our social position in the world. I do that set at the end, even though it appears in my prayer book earlier. Those are for being a Jew, a free person, and, in my case, a woman. But what I'm going to focus on today is the list of 13 blessings. They all begin with the traditional words, "Blessed are you, Lord our God, ruler of the universe." And they thank God for a series of gifts. Now listen to this series. And as you do, think about how those appear in yourself, in your body, personally. The ability to distinguish between day and night. The ability to see. Thanks for clothing. The ability to move, as in stretching out our limbs. To raise ourselves up. For the earth beneath our feet. And providing for all our needs, which the rabbis say meant for our shoes, covering for the feet. Now notice at this point we have scanned our body from head to toe. Then to walk steadily, for being what's called clothed in strength, which was said when putting on a sash, a belt, or a gartel. For being crowned with glory, that was for the head covering. For vitality when we are weary. For the opening of our eyes, and for God's guidance and benevolence, including the ability to distinguish between good and evil. Notice, we have now come back up from feet to head, with the eyes and the ability to make a distinction being part of the mind. When I say these different blessings, I move these parts of the body to remind myself of what these mean in my actual physical life. Now also, what's fascinating here is as we go down, we're talking mainly about the body and its functions in an ordinary way. But as we come back up, there are certain differences. Going down, we're clothed and given shoes. Coming up, God adds steadiness to our walk. It literally says, makes our steps firm. God girds Israel with strength and crowns Israel with glory. Now that reference to Israel has a double meaning. One is that we're now identifying with a larger purpose or a larger circle within which we imagine our identity, that of the Jewish people who are called Israel. And second, with our ancestor Jacob, who was given the name Israel when he was blessed for his specific mission in life. So this moving down and up in our physical form is not merely physical, but spiritual as well. There's an extra dimension as we complete the circle. Also, when we say a second blessing for the opening of our eyes, the words are that God removes slumber from our eyelids. A different level of seeing seems to be alluded to here, a seeing without any of the dimness or fogginess left over from sleep. The final blessing in the series for guidance and benevolence is a longer one, asking God to help us attach ourselves to Torah and commandments and keep us away from evil. This too amplifies on the very first blessing, which was to be able to distinguish between day and night. But now it's not merely the ability to make distinctions with our brains, but specifically for moral judgment, for an orientation in the world. This beautiful set of blessings is truly a tikkun for the world of action. First, we're expressing gratitude to our Creator, helping us to recognize that everything that we accomplish, everything we go out and do or make, depends on these gifts. And that gratitude, in turn, opens us to the potential that lies within us. Oh, what I could do with these gifts. I spoke about potential in the previous podcast. That's really the purpose of a blessing, is to open up potential. And overall, this little ceremony, which takes only a few minutes, reminds us that as expressions of Israel, that is, in the biblical sense, the one who receives God's blessing, we are valuable just because we're alive, as children of God. We don't need to be measured by the criteria of our society, our accomplishments in the world of action. We belong to God and to the divine project of Tov Ma'od, to make the world very good. The sense of gratitude and awareness that can come from saying these blessings is profound and personal. You can make it your own wherever you are every day. By the way, if you want to study more in depth the blessings on body, soul, and Torah, there's a book I co-authored entitled Minding the Temple of the Soul by myself and Rabbi Cantor Judy Greenfeld. You can find it on Amazon. There won't be a podcast on Shabbat. On Sunday, we're going to move on to the second section of prayer, the verses of song. Hope you'll be tuning in then.